Okay, well, it won't work with a power supply. It only works with a battery, so that's disappointing. Okay, this is a update video. I haven't done a video in a while. Uh, this circuit had distortion, and it sounded like something happened to the voltages. So how I investigated into it was the fact that did some reading and saw what my voltages are supposed to be on each of these pins, and pin 14 had like 4.9, almost 5 volts, and it's supposed to be like around 2 volts. So days have gone into this thing, just working on it little by little, and just, so you can see that's the original circuit, and here's the one that is this other one that I have already used on stage, believe it or not, but it sounds a little murky. I'm gonna have to go back and fix some filtering to make the frequencies that I'm trying to look for. My momentary contact switch, I'm gonna have to replace it. It's gotten to the point where it doesn't work half the time, and it's just figuring out where all the pots go. So here's the original. Here's pot 1. That's your time. Here's the second pot. That's going to be how many repeats you get, and this is supposed to be the level. And way down in here, original plan was to have modulation, and I don't have the right wires. The speaker wire is so brittle it breaks half the time. It's been a chore and a half to put all this together, but I'm going to do a sound check with it tomorrow. Okay, here's a demonstration on this thing. Last night I just showed the what the thing looked like, and now we're going to get to hear it. I did some interesting things today with it. I added a trim pot. And it's a 20K trim pot. I had a 22K, and then I thought it was a little bit dark. And so I added on pin 14, and again, to reiterate what I went through, the issues was I was getting distortion, and it was coming from pin 14, which is your 12 and 14 are your outputs on this thing. It's a PT2399 chip, delay chip. And so I did some thinking and read up on it, and looked at all the schematics, and had to tear it all apart. I didn't mention that in the last video, so I had to tear it apart and rebuild it. And what I got now sounds pretty good, and I can adjust it like I want. Okay, I decided to make another video here. We're going to do a little testing of sounds. Found like one of my Chitakins kind of sound. I might dial it in just a little bit better here. But this is how it's sounding at this point. I didn't plug it in. Gotta plug it in. All right, so now it's plugged in. How dark and murky that is. Dial in the, I think it'd go that way. Yeah, that's nothing but delay. So this is the balance between the two. can hear the original pitch or the original note. So it's doing what it's doing, but I think it can be improved. But you can see the underside of this circuit. So what I'm going to end up doing is right in here are the caps. I'm going to change them out, and we're going to, like I say, do a little sound comparison and see if I like it any better. So I'm going to pause the video and change that out, and then we'll make is these caps that were right there. You can see where I'm flashing the flashlight. I took them out. What I plan to do is I'm going to put some sockets right there, and then I'll be able to mix these capacitors and test the waters with the tones. So that's what I'm going to do. So stand by. Okay, back now. And I've added those two sockets. You can see the sockets there, the chips over there. So I'm going to put all this together and test out some capacitors and see what kind of sounds we can get tone-wise. That's what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is, now I've got 100 nanofarads in there, a pair of them. That's what I'm going to call it, a pair of nanofarads. And this is on pins 9 and 10. They're going from 9 to 10, that's one capacitor. 11 to 12 is the other capacitor. So I got a pair of 100 nanofarads. And I put in sockets. So what I'm going to try to do now is do a little tone tester and see if I can get a little brighter signal than what I'm getting. It sounds really dark and murky, as I was saying. And so you know, sounds great, but I'm just looking for a little more brightness. That's my goal. So anyway, I'm just going to pause the video. I don't know, it took me a good hour, probably 45 minutes to put all this together, and I'll show it at the end. Anyway, pausing now. Okay, I put some 47 nanofarads in there now, and I can tell a difference. It has gotten tinny, we'll say that. So I've read that you can take it down to 22 nanofarads. So my sources tell me 100 nanofarad is kind of like ballpark where you're trying to get the analog sound. So I'm going for more of a digital sound is what's going on here. Brightness to it. That gives me a nice slap back delay. Okay, here's a quick video on the delay project I've been working with. So as you can see, you couldn't really tell from the video that I made last time. I've added these sockets. So if I can zoom in there, we can see those sockets pretty well. Did a lot of experimenting with what the sounds are. And anyway, I was pretty excited about putting all that together. And then come to find out, well, I just had to go and rebuild all of the buffer section. But it looks nice and clean this time instead of 1,000 wires. So I'm working towards getting it all to work as it should, but it's just been a chore. I don't know when I will finish this thing. I mean, it's just mind-boggling the hours that go into these things. Okay, here's a video with the progress that I have made. As you can see, alligator clips really come in handy. That is the underside of that thing. I'm getting pretty close. I have been able to turn it off and no effect. So the foot switch is working as it should. I'm getting a pop, so I think I got my pull down resistor. I put the wire in the wrong place for the pull down resistor, so I got to go back and fix that. But anyway, just wanted to kind of scan this thing. Last video is pretty darn tired. Worked on it forever and just couldn't put words together so well. I don't know, maybe this is better. But that's the enclosure. It looks nice. I had a brain thought. What I might do is I got a little space here, as you can see, right in there. And I may put a rotary potentiometer in there. Not a potentiometer, but it is a rotary potentiometer. And what it's going to do is it's going to be able to affect the different caps I choose. So may do that and shift this thing over one, and that way I'd have all three there for whatever I want to do. And then I can change my tone with this one once it's in place. But for now, I don't have all that. So that might be something to look at down the road. I checked my voltages. That's one thing I wanted to say on this video. So everything looks good. The op amp is looking good. The PT2399 chip is looking good. Okay, it's getting close. You can see, if I zoom in, there's the 3 potentiometers. They're in the box finally. Just got a few more wires to go. Like I said, right here, I'm going to add an idea. I think it's going to work. What do you call it? A rotary switch. And it's going to control the capacitors. So you can see I got a capacitor here. That's an 82 nano. This is a 68 nano right here. So those two are your tone out of these things. You can make your repeats darker. You can make them brighter. That's what I'm on to right now with that switchable rotary switch. And that's going to allow me to add some different variations of tone. I'm thinking that's how that's going to work. So let me zoom out now. So anyway, that's what the project looks like. It's good and clean. So that's going to finalize this project. Hopefully. We'll see. Okay. There it is. It's in the box. I didn't think this day would ever come. This has just been a chore and a half. I got this other one. That right there needs to be in a huge box. So we'll get that one figured out one day. This one right here has modulation. And like I said, I got a little space in here. Probably going to put a rotary switch in there and start to vary the capacitors there, and or choose capacitors, which ones I want. And I did some long videos to listen back and see which ones I like. I love the 22 nanofarad combined with the 82 nanofarad. It just really shines the harmonics. But I never knew about all the stuff that goes into this. You know, this has been really a learning lesson, day after day after day. You just learn how to do things better. And one day I'd like to get this on a printed circuit board and just have it where I can, or the copper clad prototype boards. That would be kind of nice to do and figure that out. You know, I've seen these pros that really do this. I'm just nothing but a novice at this, if anything, but I've gotten some sounds and I'm going to get to use this on stage, and hopefully it works with an AC adapter. That was the reason that I took the thing apart, to iron the bugs out. And I've already recorded one track with it, and it's just been a fun, aggravating, tiresome mission to get this thing accomplished. All right, I got some great news. This thing works off AC power supply. I cannot believe it. That is wonderful news. No more batteries. So now I'll be able to put this on my pedal board, and hopefully the power supply downstairs will work just effectively. I have not been able to test the milliamps. I don't know what they are, but it's a digital chip, and I will do all those things. I'll spare you the details on all that stuff. Anyway, what I would like to do now is play the thing and just see what all the features are all about. Well, anyway, like I said, it's got time, mix, repeat. We'll have tone eventually. It's called the Cicada Delay. When I was coming up with this thing, it reminded me of a lot of cicada sounds in the summertime. So I thought that was a pretty cool representation of what this thing can do. It's changed a little bit. It's got a lot warmer sound. Anyway, let's listen to the thing. Alright, so it's got a nice tone to it. Or a nice sound, rather. Alright, so I can adjust my mix. And I think this is backwards, but anyway. That's a lot of delay. So I can put this thing all the way to where it just is nothing but delay. So it's a mix. I can just kill the dry signal and have nothing but delay. It gets a little loud, so you got to watch it. So you want it somewhere in the middle. Guitar comes in a little bit stronger. All right, so reps, you know what that is repeats. And it is finally the way it should be. So I could have that down to one repeat. Slap back delays. You can get this into reverb. So that's really, you know, pretty dry right there. So I can get that slapback delay, Chet stuff I like to do, and many videos when I did that on the original circuit. Let's see some UFO sounds. Let's see if this thing can do that. Forget the time is over here. Very easy to do. Let's see what the maximum delay is now.